Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss about the law of diminishing marginality, which is given by H.H. Gosson, Hermann and Rich Gosson in 1854. G1 called it as a Gosson's first law, but Alfred Marshall, who popularized and analyzed in a scientific manner the definition, the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of a stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in a stock that he already has, which is given by Alfred Marshall. Coming to the meaning, the law says that as a consumer takes more units of a good, the extra satisfaction that he derives from extra unit of a good goes on falling. The relation between the quantity consumed and the utility derived from each successive units consumed is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Then we have to discuss about the statement of the law. The law of diminishing marginality says that based on the fact that though human wants are unlimited, any particular want is satisfiable. This law analyzes consumer behavior in case of a single good. If a person goes on consuming more and more units of a commodity, the extra satisfaction goes on diminishes. The law of diminishing marginality explains the relationship between the quantity of goods consumed and the utility derived from it. Coming to the assumptions, rationality, consumer should be rational. That means he derives maximum satisfaction of the goods. Then cardinal measurement of utility. It is measured in cardinal numbers. Next, independent utility. Utility depends upon its own quantity. That means utility of the goods are independent. Constant marginality of money. Then we have homogeneous goods, both qualitatively and quantitatively. Then we have uniform size of goods. It should not be too big or too small. Next, no time lag. No time lag between consumption of one unit to another. Divisible commodity. The commodities can be divisible. No change in consumer behavior. That means income, taste, preference of the consumer remain constant. Then we have complete knowledge of the market. This is about the assumptions. Now coming to the definition or illustration of the law. The law can be explained with the total utility and marginality. Now units of x we have taken as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total utility and marginality. Here unit of x, for example, we have taken as a commodity apple. A person is consuming one after the other the apple. The first it gives him more satisfaction than the second one, and third one is goes on taking consuming continuously. This extra satisfaction he derived from each unit goes on diminishes, so that we can see in the marginality. And this totality is nothing but the total satisfaction obtained by the consumer by all the units of the commodity taken together at a time. Then marginality tells you the additional satisfaction obtained from additional unit of the commodity consumed. Mu(x) is equal to Tx minus Tux minus 1, or change in Tux by change in quantity. Now let us discuss here that when a consumer goes on consuming unit of good X, the extra satisfaction or marginality that he derives by the consumption of each successive unit goes on decreasing till he reaches 0. At the fifth unit, then it becomes negative. The total utility, however, goes on increasing at a diminishing rate until the consumption of fourth unit of a good X. Now let us discuss the relation between the total utility and marginality. When total utility is increasing at a diminishing rate, marginality falls. Secondly, when total utility is maximum, marginality becomes 0. Third, when total utility is decreasing, marginality becomes negative. So this is about the relation between total utility and marginality. Then coming to the limitations. First one is rational consumer. If he is under the influence of intoxicants, then the law will not applicable. If the goods are not independent, the law will not work. For a for for example, complementary goods like car and petrol, they are two are dependent on each other. Then majority of money is not constant. Normally, our desire for money increases as we have more of it. If the goods are not homogeneous, the law will not work. If the goods are too big or too small, the problem arises. In case of a durable goods, it is not possible to measure the utility derived from their use because it is spread over a long period of time. If there is any change in consumer taste, behavior, or habits, the law does not hold good. And in the case of ordinary things like hobby goods like stamps collection, coins collection, additional units may give you greater satisfaction than the earlier units. Then coming to the importance of the law of diminishing marginality is based on the law of consumption. It is also basis for the law of demand, law of equimarginality. Then, changes in design, pattern, packing of goods will be brought by the producer by keeping the law in view. Then, third, the law explains the theory of value. That means the price of a good falls when the supply increases because with the increase in the stock of a good, its marginality diminishes. Then it also explains diamond water paradox. It can be explained with the help of this law. Diamonds are relatively scarce. They possess high exchange value and less usage value. Similarly, water is abundant, available, and it has low exchange value but more of its use value. Then, coming to the law, this law is also helpful to the government in formulating the taxation policies. That is, progressive tax is based on this law. It helps in redistribution of income and wealth in favor of the poor people. Thank you.